Ducey reports from the Netherlands.
A White House official traveling with the president who is confirming to us now that after Saturday's strikes in Iran, the U.S. strikes on the nuclear facilities in Iran, President Trump told Benjamin Netanyahu not to expect any further American military intervention there. That was on a call today that White House officials are diplomatically describing to us as exceptionally firm and direct.
The president says he was also direct with the prime minister after an Iranian airstrike minutes before the ceasefire started killed an Israeli family of 4.
There was going to be a retaliation this morning by Israel, and he said you got to call back the planes. It's enough. It's enough. And they did, which I respect very greatly.
Prime Minister Netanyahu in a video address to his country saying Israel has never had a better friend in the White House than President Trump, and they have achieved an historic victory that will stand for generations. Iran also claiming victory. Iranian President Pezeshkian telling his people Israel started the war and Iran ended it successfully. Classified briefings for members of Congress on Saturday's U.S. airstrikes postponed today. The House voting overwhelmingly to table Texas Congressman Al Green's resolution to impeach President Trump. The president earlier urged the Senate to lock itself into a room and finish work on his big, beautiful budget bill. Senate Majority Leader John Thune telling reporters they're close.
We feel very good about the path that we're on and getting this across the finish line by the end of the week.
The House would have to sign off on any changes the Senate makes to the bill that it passed. Wall Street roaring again today. Just before the close, the Dow up 507 points, NASDAQ ahead 281, the S&P 500 adding 67. America is listening to Fox News.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1225. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1225. That's 800-777-1225. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225.
After 6 weeks of sometimes tawdry testimony, the federal sex trafficking case against Sean Diddy Combs will soon be headed to the jury. The prosecution rested earlier today. Late this afternoon, the defense rested as well, not calling any witnesses. Closing arguments are set for Thursday. An appeals court hearing arguments to set aside a defamation verdict against President Trump.
A 3-judge panel of the Second Circuit Court of Appeals is weighing whether presidential immunity should invalidate last year's $83 million jury verdict in the defamation lawsuit against President Trump by former columnist E. Jean Carroll. Carroll's attorney said the president is not above the law and said her client continues to receive death threats as a result of the lawsuit she brought. The jury ordered Trump to pay Carroll for defaming her in 2019 when he denied her accusation that he sexually assaulted her in a Manhattan department store dressing room in the 1990s. Earlier this month, that same appeals court upheld a separate $5 million award to Carroll that Trump must pay. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Voters in New York City braving 100-degree heat today to vote in the city's Democratic mayoral primary.
According to polling, the top 2 candidates, the moderate here, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, and the progressive is a state lawmaker named Zohran Mamdani, a 33-year-old who describes himself as a Democratic socialist. Now, of course, for Cuomo, this would be a big-time political comeback after he resigned as governor back in 2021 amid a sexual harassment scandal. He voted today and said he wants to get the city back on track. The 33-year-old Mamdani would be New York City's first Muslim mayor. He proposes free child care and city-owned grocery stores, but he has taken criticism for refusing to acknowledge Israel's right to exist as a Jewish state and criticizing Israel, not Hamas, the day after the October 7th attack.
Fox's Nate Foy. Incumbent Mayor Eric Adams is running this time as an independent. I'm Jack Callahan. This is Fox News.
That was a great party, by the way. Congrats.
Hey, thank you. We had a good time.
The Busch Light was cold.
I drank a beer.
I know that you're anxious to fire up that smoker.
By the way, 6 a.m. when I woke.
Yes, your wife is getting hangry, but that grass isn't going to cut itself. What's an aspiring pitmaster going to do? Get the world's fastest mower, of course, a Dixie Chopper from Dedicated Diesel in Urbana. They carry a full line of Dixie Choppers from the Z2 and Magnum residential models up to the big Excalibur and classic commercial machines that can mow nearly 8 acres an hour. This is award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstadt, and whether I'm cooking low and slow or hot and fast, I always have time to savor the flavor because my mowing time is cut down by Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest mower. Get your Dixie Chopper at Champaign-Urbana's only dealer, Dedicated Diesel, at 1313 Triumph Drive in Urbana, 217-328-0562.
When the storm rolls in, where will you go? Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your family with a custom storm shelter from Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services. At Berg Tanks, their shelters are fiberglass and plate steel safe rooms that can be installed in your garage or exterior, in ground, or on a concrete pad. Built to withstand the toughest storms, giving you a safe, secure place when you need it most. Whether you need a compact unit for a small space or a larger shelter for the whole family, they've got you covered. Their expert team handles everything from excavation to installation so you can have peace of mind before the next storm strikes. Berg Septic also specializes in septic pumping, new system installation, grease trap cleanings, repairs, and maintenance plans to keep your home running smoothly. Call Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services today at 217-367-8632 or visit them online at bergtanksinc.com. That's bergtanksinc.com.
Hi, this is Les Hovland with Philo Exchange Bank. At our banks, we know the hearts of our communities beat with the rhythm of agriculture. Ag lending continues to be something we've excelled at for over 140 years. To you, the farmer, your business has been built on trusted relationships. When it comes to your banking relationship, we want to be your trusted partner.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow right here in Champaign-Urbana can switch you over so you can start saving today. Kurt and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just give them a call when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Jesse with Lands Drain Cleaning. Do you have your sewer line cleaned every year? Are you constantly getting roots or blockages? Why deal with that headache year after year? Call Lands Drain Cleaning today at 217-355-5512 to have our expert staff come out, clean your line. We give you a free camera inspection, show you what's wrong, where it's at, and then we can offer you a repair for that problem so you don't have to deal with it again. Lands Drain Cleaning. Why call anyone else?
That was a great party, by the way. Congrats.
Hey, thank you. We had a good time.
The Busch Light was cold.
I drank a beer. I drank another beer.
Pork chops were great.
6 a.m. when I woke up to go outside the next day, there were 9 lonely beers floating in the trough.
9 beers?
9 beers! I think I went into this party, Curtis. 8 30-packs of Busch Light. What? 2 cases of Miller Lite. What? A case of Ultra. What? A case of Coors. What? 3 cases of High Noon. What? Vodka, maybe. And a Bloody Mary. We had all that, and the next morning, I literally walk out there at like 6:15, and I peer in there, and there's just 9 lonely beers.
You know who could have taken care of those 9 lonely beers?
Oh, no.
The guy didn't get an invite.
I thought I had invited you.
They left me here at the station, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought we were meeting you there.
I swear I heard Pipes say to Wagner, "Is he in the bathroom? Is he gone?"
Is he gone? That man right there.
I didn't.
And Wag says, "Get in the car, go."
I figured we'd just meet you there, so we didn't shut the door. We didn't, wait for you to get out.
So I looked around and everyone's gone, so I just sadly turned the light switch off in the building.
Because he deserves it. Pipes knows this. I shouldn't say this on the air. Does he scare you? But I literally handed everybody a piece of paper and I said, if I say the word down, that means Curtis Allen is driving around trying to find us. Everybody jump under a table and act like nobody's here. 9 beers and a Bloody Mary.
Oh, yeah. Fun every time. Hey, what's up? This is Drive and Piper, ESPN Radio 93.5. Derek Piper, Lante, Curtis Allen. Well done again.
And a vodka. And a Bloody Mary. What? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. That was excellent.
Thank you. I thought Stone Cold Steve Austin encapsulated how I was feeling.
What?
After yesterday's show, not getting invited to the party.
Right.
The terrible Cubs performance. You could what me on this. Yesterday's show.
Oh, you took it there first. I thought we were surely going to be the ones to bring it up first.
The terrible Cubs performance. What? We started a little late. What?
We did.
But we're here. We're here. We're all right. And there's big Illini news.
Yeah.
So that should, change the subject to make
Yeah,
it
no, we can.
Even bigger.
Swinging a long way. Oh, another one out. Dang. Awesome.
Wow. We don't believe in solo homers, by the way.
Apparently not. Just like Scottie Pippen doesn't believe in Game 7s in the NBA Finals.
Woo!
Can't get ahead of ourselves. There are 4 of these. 4 games.
No doubt.
But I'm proudly wearing my Cardinals today. And
you did say the Cubs are going to take 3 or 4.
I did, yes.
Yep. Can I bring up, I know we need to talk U of I Hall of Fame class, and I know you are excited about Aaron Rodgers saying he's, quote, pretty sure this will be his final NFL season. I know Pipes has at least 20 minutes on that.
Sure.
This is the first he's hearing it, I think. So I did, we had our text thread going last night, and John Wagner, a buddy of mine, did bring it up, and it was hard for me to disagree. Where are the people? I mean, this is a Cardinals team that is 4.5 out with the Cubs in town. Now, do you have some things working against you Monday? No school, though, right? But a Monday night, a lot of us work. It's not easy to just, it's not easy for me to drive down on a Monday and then turn around and be at the office at 8.
Yeah, it's hot.
Sometimes I get there around 9. Yeah. But yeah, that's the other thing. Maybe I should have led with that. It's really hot. I mean, it's miserable. But I was even alarmed. And Derek, I mean, I'm being honest when I say this. I get why Cardinals fans this season and last were kind of like, all right, we're kind of boycotting this team right now because you kept John Mozeliak in position. You didn't really go do anything. You added Phil Maton, who, by the way, has been incredible, the Chatham Glenwood product. I understand the economy isn't the best. I understand that attendance, I think, all over baseball is down. But it alarmed me last night that you didn't have the kind of crowd that I expected for a Cubs-Cardinals series. And I'll say this. I won't even be exclusive to Cardinals fans. Cubs fans travel. Man, when the Cubs are good, you go to San Diego and it's 70% Cubs fans, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've probably seen more Cubs-Cards games at Busch than I have at Wrigley.
Right.
Frankly. And it's just a lot of that's because it's easier to travel to.
Absolutely.
So.
And there were Cubs fans, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'll even add them a little bit. I give them a little, but the Cardinals mainly. And I understand, like, we got into the woods. Like, we got deep in the weeds, not the woods. I guess you could go in the woods. About Chicago, downtown Chicago has like 2 million people. Downtown St. Louis has 300-some thousand, right?
Yeah.
The greater St. Louis area has more, obviously, the Belleville, the things like that. But it just shocked me.
It's a clear outlier. The Cardinals have been traditionally the last 20 years a top 3 to 5 team in terms of attendance draw.
Absolutely.
So to see them right now sitting at 13th is not where you currently expect, and they're averaging just shy of 30,000. And last night was actually even lower than their season average. So it's very much a surprise when you got the Cubs coming into town.
Right.
First place Cubs, Cardinals in contention still at 27,000. I can't sit here and go scorched earth on it because I haven't been to a game to Busch Stadium yet this year. So there is that factor. And admittedly, I mean, this has been a team it's been hard to fully buy in on. And it was just maybe a week or two ago where this might have been the window of like, do we want to go to this Cubs series?
Right.
Do we not? Look, it's expensive. It's expensive to go to a game, to factor in. If you're Monday night, you're probably staying overnight, especially if you're traveling a few hours like I would. And you got, if you're taking a family, those type of things.
It's $1,000 weekend,
right?
Or $1,000 night.
But again, the cost of going to a Cubs-Cardinals series was always substantial. Now, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So I think part of this is just the compounding frustration and indifference about a franchise that didn't even try to attract your excitement this offseason by doing literally nothing. And, Lon, I think you're still paying the price for doing things that the fan base largely disagreed with and were just flat out disgusted by, like bringing back Mozeliak for this farewell season, letting Oli Marmol stick as manager, not picking a lane of competing, and just feeling like a lot of times it was just good enough and leaning on, well, they've been good forever, so we can deal with a few down years or a retooling or whatever it might be. This franchise is very proud and has a great tradition, and they've won one postseason series in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
People are pissed off about that, and they should be. Like, you need to be all the way drawn back in. Now, if I was in town, if I was in the vicinity and could make it to a game easy, I, of course, would want to be at this Cubs-Cardinals series. Heck, I played golf in the blazing heat yesterday. And
you're a madman.
The heat isn't going to deter me as much. Maybe it would be for younger kids or people who are a little bit older, whatever it might be. But, yeah, no, I don't want to sit here and say I was embarrassed by it as a Cardinals fan, but it was definitely jarring to look and see in the outfield, like the bleachers are sparse. That, the odds of one of those Cardinals home run balls hitting an empty seat, because there were 4 of them, if you don't remember. It was a decent chance that it would hit one.
Well, I was about to say, my God, you're so angry right now, Pipes, and your team won last night.
But this
won.
This team has drawn a lot. There is built up frustration and anger.
I agree. Derek used my name.
I know
he never
he did.
uses my name.
Said, Lon?
I was like, whoa, he never does that.
Listen, buddy.
No, and I'm with you because, and you're dead on. You hit the bullseye there because 10 years ago, people did make the effort on a Monday night or a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night to get down to St. Louis and fill the majority of that stadium. Was it maybe sold out on a Monday? Maybe not. But you didn't see bleachers with just an entire section empty. So you hit it. You hit the bullseye. I think fans are frustrated, and they're frustrated to the point of it's one of those where, look, the Cardinals gave us a lot, as you know, for about a decade and a half. It was incredible, the winning and everything they did. The 4 World Series from 2004 to 2013. That's crazy. That's a crazy run, winning 2 of them.
It's pretty awesome.
But certainly they've been patient. You know me. I was the most patient guy with John Mozeliak. Every year we did a show, I'm like, all right, Derek, I'm going to give him another year. He did give me this. But then finally I was like, okay, all right, I've given you 5. Now you need to do something and show me something. Well, Mozeliak made a series of blunders. And then when he just absolutely just showed that he didn't know how to run an organization anymore, the Cardinals and Bill DeWitt Jr. and just said, well, look, that's good. Go ahead and run out your contract, and then we'll move on. And that doesn't set a very good precedence. When it's a bad product and you just continue to let the person in charge of that product continue to work, I feel like the person that's paying a lot of money, and you are paying a lot of money. And when I said it's $1,000, I meant for a weekend. If you go down to a Cardinals weekend series, just spend $1,000 on hotel. If you indulge a little bit, if you eat, everything, parking, you're going to spend money. Mm-hmm. So I think fans were like, okay, well, listen, if you're not going to attempt to do anything and you're just going to spend $2 million this offseason on Phil Maton, then I'm not going to worry spending $200 on a Monday night to go down to St. Louis.
I, as a Cubs fan, I'm genuinely surprised at some of the negativity and vitriol from the Cards fan base right now. We talked about this about a month ago, and I said, you've got the Battlehawks for some odd reason that averaged 30,000 fans
Right.
a game. But that's because St. Louis is starved for pro football.
Sure.
And then you had the Blues in the playoffs, and I had said, I just think it's a matter of time. The Cardinals will be the belle of the ball again, and Busch is going to be filled again, and it'll be different late June. But, yeah, I was wrong. You fellas, keep being angry. That's fine. Get that out. I think a therapist would say this is the bargaining stage of grief is what's going on right now.
No, you're right.
Especially, Lon, when you're like, I said, all right, he gave me this, so I'll give him another year. You're bargaining with your emotions.
Hell, I
here and your
bargained
fandom.
earlier this year and went down to a game.
You did. You
came back angry.
I was
very angry.
I was very angry. I mean, after what they did against the Dodgers, I'm like, this team deserves my $200 to help pay for whatever. But then I was like, well, this is so frustrating.
Yeah, and to steal the term you just used, what I think is a good one in the bargaining stage, like the bargaining was supposed to happen within the last couple of years where the Cardinals were not living up to expectations and not getting it done with some of the moves that Mozeliak was making. It's like, okay, you want me back in? Fire Mo. Okay, they didn't. The next year, fire Mo. Like, no kidding this time. Like, you have to fire him, right?
No, you gotta
actually,
do
we're gonna let him stick in another year. Okay, fire Marmol.
Yep.
Nope. So it's just like I think Cardinals fans are to the point where they've had what they say, okay, give me something here. Do the obvious thing.
Right.
What a proud franchise would do, what a winning franchise would do. When things don't go right in Boston, they don't sit on their hands. I know there are Boston fans that are pretty frustrated that they're a pretty 500 type of team here over the last handful of seasons, trading Mookie Betts, trading Rafael Devers, not to pivot this off, and not to go down like the proud Cardinals thing. I know Cubs fans probably hate when you do it, but it's like this. When North Carolina in basketball expects more, or whoever it might be, you don't want to hear about how proud they are of what their franchise is, or how their expectations are different than yours, or whatever it might be. But it's true. The standard's different.
That's exactly
because
right.
of the history, the standard's different. So when you don't win, you win one postseason series in 10 years, and you don't hold accountable the fact that you made too many mistakes as a GM or as a manager or whatever it might be, then you get an apathetic fan base. And even as you're a decent team on paper this year, and it is a decent team.
It is.
That you still have some of this issue. So I just wanted to give you one more reference point before I get you guys back in, is I pulled 3 years ago.
Okay.
You go the middle of August, so a little bit further in the season, but the Cardinals are at a very similar stage here. There's 7 games over 500 at this stage 3 years ago in 2022. This year, there's 7 games over 500 after winning last night. Tuesday night game, midweek, same things you're dealing with, 44,000 people.
Wow.
Now, that was Waino on the Hill. Maybe it's a little bit of a Waino draw.
Still.
The next night was 41.
Wow.
So you're in the 40s versus 27 or 29? 27 last night?
27, yeah.
It's a big difference.
It is a big difference, and that's great research on your end. I don't know how you do that quick while you're talking. I don't think people realize how difficult that would be to do while he's talking. But you're right. And listen, I was at opening day, and the boos for John Mozeliak were weird to me. I'm not saying I didn't expect him, or he does not, or it's not warranted to him. But as a guy that's been to a lot of Cardinals games my entire life, I've never booed at Busch Stadium, I don't think, for or against the Cardinals. Maybe Ray Langford one time. But for that to be so obvious and awkward. Do you know how awkward that is? Like, if I'm John Mozeliak, I'm not even going out there to be introduced. But I guess to his credit, he went out and faced the music. But, you know, that just tells you right there, like, Cardinals fans are booing exactly what they told you what they're mad about. He came on the field and you booed him. I mean, I don't know what else the DeWitts want. They got booed. And it's like, you know what? And I know a lot of Cardinals fans. Well, I think in a weird way what hurts them too is the advent of the Ballpark Village, this brand new condo that holds all these incredible condos with the Xfinity pool up top that I one day want to be in. I'm not going to lie to you. I want to watch a game from there. All of that has been built up at the same time that everything else seems to be going down. And it's almost like, hey, well, we're not making any money, but we're doing pretty well in every other facet. I mean, essentially it shut down. What am I saying when you come over the bridge, Martin Luther King Bridge? What that used to be called? My goodness. Sundeckers used to be there. Anyway, that area completely shut down due to Ballpark Village. I mean, fans no longer went down to wherever. I'm trying to think. I can't think of it. Soulard's still doing okay, right? Soulard's still doing okay. But for the most part, Cardinals fans now, instead of going and spending money where they used to, hang around Ballpark Village. And listen, I mean, it's right there. It's not a bad idea. I mean, we used to walk.
Or patios.
Or patios, right. We used to walk all the way to Sundeckers and then walk all the way back to the stadium. I was younger then and loved doing it. But now I would take the easiness of just knowing Ballpark Village is right there. But you get what I'm saying. It's like, hold on, like there's like gold mines everywhere around here, and yet you're going to spend $2 million on Phil Maton. Which, again, he's done great. Love to get Phil on sometime as a Central Illinois kid. But, you know, so as a fan, I'm sitting there going, well, you're making more at Ballpark Village. You made enough there to go acquire a starting pitcher or an outfielder that we haven't had for 10 years. So, yeah, I'm with you. The optics are not great.
This is probably not a good explanation.
Laclede's Landing. Thank you, Marty.
But I think you could even argue, like, Joey Wagner, who we have on, obviously, as a co-host every once in a while, and in Atlanta Inquirer as a Cardinals fan, he's not watching the Cardinals because he has YouTube TV. It's even harder just to watch the team.
Right.
So I think that maybe has even added into part of, if you're a casual Cardinals fan or you're someone that doesn't want to jump through hoops, go the extra mile to watch this team in particular here recently, that maybe you just aren't as into baseball. You're not as into the Cardinals. You have to go out of your way to watch this team in most cases. Now, maybe you already regularly have DirecTV or whatever it might be, but a lot of people go streaming. A lot of people go YouTube TV. Can't watch them.
Right.
So maybe you just haven't got into them. I don't know if that's any part of the explanation. Probably small sliver of the pie, but it's something that's different now than it wasn't 5 years ago. It was very much part of any TV package you had.
Fans vote with their money. They always have, and they always will. And I'm just surprised that I think it speaks more to how the Redbirds fans feel about Mo than the team as a whole. I think that's the biggest thing, because you are competitive as a franchise right now. You are in the hunt for the Central.
They're fun to watch.
And you're playing your rival, and you've made it fun for fans. The players on the field have made it fun for fans, but that disdain for Mo and ownership, I think, is outweighing it. It's, from my you were about to mention the Cubs and what some of the stuff they went through for a long time. Yeah, and recent history as a Bears fan, like you could count on by late October, early November, Soldier Field wasn't going to be filled, especially in the 400 level. Like, it was going to look empty, and the season ticket holders were going to start reselling stuff on StubHub. And no, I think, I expected the Cardinals to be in a weird transition this year, in particular because of Mo, and I thought until he was gone that things were not going to get better for the Redbirds. But then, again, you're competitive right now, so it's a weird dichotomy. I'll use a $5 word there.
It is. That's solid, man.
Thank you.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Yes.
$10 word. Let me let you watch Piper's face as I say this next thing.
Okay, I'm looking.
Not only are the Cardinals doing this, but they had the luxury of the farewell tour of Adam Wainwright and Yadi Molina. And that is something that will get Gripes going, or Gripes. Gripes. You know what I was going to say? Grimes,
my buddy. Call me Gripes.
My buddy Grimes.
Derek Gripers in the house today.
Oh. Gripes.
Just sour.
I mixed Grimes and Piper together with a little Gripes. That's something that'll get Derek going because, and I'm with him. I mean, you had the luxury of stringing along Adam Wainwright so he could play his country music. Listen, I love Adam Wainwright.
I love him too.
And you had Yadi Molina taking off part of the season to go coach a basketball team in Puerto Rico. And it's like, wait a minute, hold on a second. How much money do we pay you to? It's almost like, and then you just had this farewell tour.
They brought Matt Carpenter back when he was 41, and they needed an extra. Oh, yeah, let's just get him back. You guys still like salsa, right? No.
What the hell?
Expired in 2013.
I did see that Jason Hayward the other day got optioned. I was like, I didn't know he was still in the bigs.
One more thing I'd offer up, though.
Yes.
Is that I had this thought. There's nobody on this Cardinals team that is like, man, I got to go see him play.
No, right.
And there has been that guy, obviously, through the years a lot of times. Maybe not always. but Pujols for a long time.
For a long time.
Waino, if he's on the hill. Yep. Yachty was just such a fan favorite that you want to get out and watch Yachty play.
They've always had those guys. I mean, Roland.
Of course.
Ozzie, Edmonds, Willie. I mean, they seemingly have always had a star.
Even when they weren't very good in the 90s.
Exactly right.
Want to go see Big Mac.
Yep.
But that's something with this team where Notto's not that guy anymore. And it's not to the point, and yes, I will take this opportunity to dig on the Cubs a little bit. There was that moment where they're doing the Field of Dreams game. Patrick Wisdom is the main guy we're putting on the promo, and
I remember talking that with Trevor Valise, who's a diehard Cubs fan, and I'm like, Trevor, who would you even put on the ticket stub of the Field of Dreams? And he's like, we don't have anybody.
They do now. They got they got a number
and
of
now
guys.
They have a
Obviously,
number of
I mean,
guys.
PCA is as big a star, as much popularity as you probably muster up for a Cub right
no
now.
doubt.
And obviously Kyle Tucker's awesome. And on down the line, that's why it's a really good team. But for the Cardinals, I mean, who is it? Mason Wynn, and he's not that draw.
No.
Like he's not got to see Mason Wynn.
Lars,
we're hoping it would be Jordan Walker by now.
Probably Lars Nootbaar because of his name.
Yeah, which is.
I mean, he did hit the homer last night, so I give him credibility to that.
I think there's a little bit of that too. But no, we all said it. It's the paying back the franchise, the front office, ownership, all of it. I think it's just you got to go that much further to draw them back. And it is kind of sad. I mean,
it is
for a game last night to not have the traditional Cubs-Cardinals atmosphere and what would have been a really fun game for Cardinals fans to be at. But
and you can even hear it after the game when Jim Hayes is doing the star of the game with Lars Nootbaar, and he says to the point of it was a really loud stadium tonight. When do they hardly ever bring that up, except to say, like, it was kind of loud tonight, and Lars is like, it really was. I hope that continues for the next 3 nights. And it's like, we're almost to that point of we're kind of like begging fans to come to baseball games. And I don't blame, I guess. I mean, look, the players would love to have fans there. They want to play in front of fans. That's why for so many years, visiting players would be like, we love going to Busch, man.
Yeah.
It's sold out. It's great.
Good
atmosphere. You got knowledgeable fans. Yeah, it's a good atmosphere.
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of like we're kind of like begging for fans.
Well, I'll put it like this. If the Cardinals win this series and the attendance is still down, and then all of a sudden you start doing weird things like, all-you-can-eat hot dog night or something that. You start doing that crap. Then as a fan, you could tell little man, hey, buddy.
Hey, have another one.
You can have as many
I've
hot
had
dogs.
6, Dad.
Tell your wife, put those in your purse. We're taking them home. But if you get to that point where you're doing like all-you-can-eat hot dog night or
smells
this
of
sort
desperation.
Yeah, that's what franchises do when their season is in real trouble and people aren't coming to the ballpark or they're not coming to the stadium or whatever.
And even this year, and we can finish this, but even this year is such a weird. What was the word you used? Dichotomy.
Dichotomy.
I don't think that's the right verbiage for me on this one.
Give it a shot. See what happens.
It's a weird dichotomy in the idea that you don't know if you're buyers or sellers. And you're still kind of on that. Like, even if the Cardinals swept this series and were a half game out of first, I still don't know, Derek, that I'd be willing to say, yep, we're in it to win it. I don't know. That's the weird part. Cardinals are getting great pitching, though. That's the one thing that, especially of late, their pitching has been outstanding. Liberatore was outstanding last night.
If I can say one more thing from the text line, from the Max Twin City Recycling text line, to the winners, you guys should be feeling good about yourselves. JT says, let's be honest, Cubs fans stick with their team through thick and thin, the lovable losers.
Yeah.
And Cardinals fans feel entitled after the last 30 years. Sounds a little fickle to JT.
I don't know. When I watched that
JT.
Rookie of the Year movie, there was nobody in those bleachers.
I've
when
been to Wrigley.
Chet Steadman was giving up the home runs.
I've been to Wrigley a lot when there's nobody there. A lot.
Yeah.
Now, the environment, I feel like over the last, Curtis would know it better than I have, but since they've been pretty consistently competitive, that place is one of the best out there. But there was a long time, I feel like, in the 90s.
Oh, my God.
Where they didn't have anywhere close to that
what
vibe.
made 98 so special that year with Kerry Wood's rookie year, and Sosa comes on and they get in as a wild card. But other than that, the early 90s, you had some stuff to cheer for where you had some hope before Maddox goes to the Braves, and you've got Hawk and you've got Mark Grace and you've got this core. But Yeah, there were some bad times in the 90s, man.
Yep.
Some bad
they
times.
tore it down before they won the World Series. They were the worst team in baseball.
Yeah, there was. I mean, this recent era, you could even see the switch flip when Rizzo, towards the end of 2014, like Rizzo comes back from the Padres after that trade, and he's like, okay, here's a piece.
Yeah.
Like you're getting a bite
Yeah.
as a fan. And then that's what made 2015 such a nice surprise with that young core, and then we know what happened in 2016. Yep. So, anyways.
Speaking of streaming, last thing. This is my last thing.
Promise.
It is. I feel like for the guy that doesn't understand it, I don't understand what this Amazon Prime is and why I need to have it to watch NASCAR and all this stuff. Derek, I feel like I'm winning the battle right now. And let me tell you why. So I am now a subscriber to both DirecTV and YouTube. And I used a loophole in there that basically states it says you can use it once. I guarantee you they don't want to lose your business. So last season I used DirecTV through the fall, then called DirecTV and said I'd like to pause it for 6 months, and had YouTube for the NFL season. And then I got a hold of YouTube and said I need to pause it for the summer. Paused it, and now I have DirecTV to watch the Cardinals. So I'm essentially using DirecTV during baseball, YouTube during the NFL season. It's working so far. Hopefully there's not some guy named Tom listening.
You got to figure it out.
From Houston, Texas.
Yeah, no, man, you're good.
And literally.
I don't do it as eloquently as you. I literally just cancel and start it back up.
Start it back up.
But, you've got it.
You don't negotiate.
You got it made.
You don't haggle with them, Pipes.
Well, I got on there and like DirecTV will allow you to pause it for 6 months. So let's say I live in Florida in the winter. Maybe that's what I told him. Maybe I live in Florida for the winter. So I was like, hey,
Monte joining us via Zoom as he does every day.
Yes, Uncle Lon, your reception's great
That's
today.
The beach, man.
Look at the waves behind you.
And I was like, I'm sorry to do this. I've been and the one thing that works for me, I've been a DirecTV guy for 20 to 30 years, probably 30 years, and always had NFL ticket. I always did all that. I spent a lot of money with DirecTV. So I'm like, look, if you look at my history, you'll understand that I'm pretty loyal to you guys, and I don't want to get rid of you, but I'm just not going to be here for 6 months. And they're like, oh, yeah, we can pause. We'll pause it. And so no payments. Then I start paying YouTube. YouTube is about ready to be activated into July, and I'll see how long I need to stay with the Cardinals until I say, all right, we can pause DirecTV again. Here comes the NFL.
There you go.
Da-na-na, da-na-na. So I feel like I'm winning that.
Good for you.
Until I'm in jail or something.
That's great.
The police show up.
No, you'll be good. That's not illegal.
You're
That's negotiating.
You know what you're doing? You're doing what every 23-year-old kid in the country does.
Exactly.
You've got it. You've got it now.
No,
you're fine.
Lindy says, I'm guessing you only watch 6 channels from DirecTV. That's not true. I know where every channel is on DirecTV, and I'm more comfortable. I will not watch TV when I have YouTube because I don't know how the hell to get there. Like, you can't just...
It's harder navigation. Can't hit back. Can't just plug in the channel.
I can't just plug in 260 and I'm there. So, and I'm sure there's an easy way to do it. I just don't know. DirecTV, I know exactly where I know where History Channel is. I know where A&E is. I know where TNT. I know where True TV is. For heaven's sakes.
Hallmark Channel.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I'm not dishing on you, Lindy, but yeah, I know where all these channels are, and it's like, it's comfortable to me. It's comfortability for me. Plus, I'm watching the Cardinals beat the Cubs, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I do kind of hate that it's a big storyline, and it's something that was just so glaring last night. And I get why Cubs fans want to talk attendance instead of the 4 home runs. No, we should talk about it.
The band of brothers.
Gotta keep getting my digs in while I can. Probably win tonight. I'll be gone though. I'll be in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'll be gone.
You have to chase me down.
The knowledge.
I'll be the one that has to take it tomorrow from Curtis and Cubs fans if they don't win tonight.
I'll be in my Italian get-up, like Tommy DeVito's agent, the pinstripes and the hat.
Goodness gracious.
Tyon against, is it Tyon?
Tyone?
Tyone, is that how you say it? Against McGreevy.
Tyone. Like Paisan.
Right.
I can say that because I'm half Italian, yes.
It's a good win by the Cardinals.
It was.
They came out and kind of set the tone for the series, hopefully. So it was a good win for the Cardinals.
Well, do you guys feel better? Did you get it all out of your system, your joy and your rage?
Yeah, relieved.
All right.
I do kind of feel better.
You know what we should talk about?
I need a beer.
I was going to tell you, I pulled an Uncle Lon at lunch today, and I had a beer, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
FCC's going to come
And then I was
down.
like,
They're already here after yesterday.
Oh, that's right.
Why you got to bring up old stuff, man?
We're not even on the air right now.
That's right. We're just doing this for ourselves.
Just for fun. Just because we like each other so much. No, you know what we should talk about now?
Go Fighting Illini.
We should.
We got to talk about the Fighting Illini in the Hall of Fame. The class of 2025. We'll get to that, right?
Yeah, we'll fill you in on who's going into
Let's
to
go.
the 2025 Illini Athletics Hall of Fame class. Big names. Excited to break that down. Coming up next, if you want to weigh in, you can. 217-359-2255. If you're listening, if we're even on the Max Twin City Recycling text line. We'll be back. I think it is The Drive.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
From plumbing warriors to air conditioning conquerors, Classic Plumbing and Air is here to help your home feel better than ever. Whether it's a quick fix or a full system upgrade, they'll show up with the tools, the tech, and the tenacity to get the job done right. Locally owned and operated, they deliver plumbing, cooling, and comfort. Call 217-586-7473 or visit ClassicPlum.com. Classic Plumbing and Air, plumbing, cooling, and comfort. Visit them at ClassicPlum.com.
Well, tell me, Tim Onstad, how is it going at Gale Frericks Trucking?
Oh, we're busy. We're going gangbusters. We've got a new driver going through orientation. That leaves us one spot left for somebody that wants to get in on the action and make some money, be home, get some quality time. It's a great opportunity.
And the type of person you like hiring?
Honesty, integrity, like everybody else is looking for. That guy that wants to have a family life, but be able to make some good money and do the right things.
Are you looking for experienced drivers? And if they have a military background and things like that, that's always an asset.
We do need some experience. Of course, we like getting the guys 15 years in that know what they're doing, maybe have been treated bad by other companies and need a place looking for a home. If somebody has the basics, maybe a year and a half, has a military background, I'll count that as some experience because they're used to following the process. Oh, you can always email me at timo@gftlog.com.
This week, it's the one sale pet lovers can't afford to miss. The Pets Pick Flooring event at Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. First, get a free labor credit on every carpet and floor. Get a $50 labor credit for every 100 feet you buy. Get up to a $1,000 rebate on great pet-friendly carpets and floors from Shaw. Ask how you can get free accessories or area rugs with your furniture purchase. And buy it all with 2 years free financing. The Pets Pick Flooring event is going on now at Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery.
We're talking to John Reichert from A&R Mechanical. 100 years in our community. So many buildings in this town, like Memorial Stadium. Of course, the State Farm Center. Can you remember the reaction from the company getting that? Because that's a big one.
Oh, that was huge. If you just think about it a little bit, everything we put in is straight, pipe is straight. We're putting all that into a round building. And, it took a lot of know-how to make that project happen. It was one of the first projects we did using our new technologies. And the timing was just right. We were the right people for that project, and I think we did it successfully.
The legacy of A&R. John, I could almost say, what haven't you built? Up and down campus, the Siebel Center was fairly new for computer science.
Everybody was working as a team, and I think it came out very well.
A&R Mechanical has helped build Carl at the Fields expansion and other Carl projects in Provena and Sarah Bush Lincoln. The list goes on and on. Visit them at ar-mech.com.
When looking for a bank, you deserve the best. Philo Exchange Bank is a Best of Bauer bank rated 5 stars in financial strength and stability for over 28 consecutive years. Banking with us means you're banking with one of the strongest banks in the nation. Visit any one of our locations in Philo, St. Joseph, Allerton, or Broadlands to experience the best firsthand.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Sarah Champagne managing partner Ben Quattrone on why integrity is important at Sarah.
We hire the person. The person makes the deal. The person makes the department. The person makes everyone around them treat people with courtesy and respect. If you have a quality human being, you can play any position, right? We're talking about sports. They can perform in any department, and I could teach someone a job, but I can't teach them to be a good person.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. That's SERRA champagne.com.
Back in the drive with Sam Piper, ESPN Radio 93.5. Let's fill you in on the newest members that will be inducted into the Illini Athletics Hall of Fame. The class of 2025, you got 11 new members going in this upcoming fall. We'll break it down for you between basketball, football, baseball, track and field, swimming, and diving, and softball. Handful of athletes and one coach, the coach being Teresa Grintz.
That's awesome.
Hey, all right.
Teresa was fun to work with. She was very intense. I can say that from covering her. But she brought, like Shauna's doing right now, she brought stability to this women's basketball program, and not only stability but success at a pretty solid level. And it was fun to understand what was going on. It was kind of cool that it coincided with Allison Curtin from over in the Taylorville area becoming really good. So you had this incredible state of Illinois player that was around here, and she became an Illini. Now she left before she graduated and played elsewhere. But it was just all I can say to that, Pipes, is the excitement level for Illinois women's basketball right now was easily that, maybe a little bit more because they were winning games in the NCAA tournament. That isn't a rip on Shauna. I really feel like this program is going to start winning games in the NCAA tournament under Shauna. And she certainly, Shauna that being, had a long way to go to build this thing up than what Teresa did, even though the program wasn't great shape, when Grintz took it over. So I think it's crazy. It was fun. It was so fun to cover Coach Grintz, and she was just competitive. I think she may be one of the, if I had to name top 5 competitive coaches I've ever met in my life, she would be easily in that top 5, maybe top 3. So it was cool to see her name being honored today, for sure.
She is a member already of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame and the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. 681 career wins over 35 years as a head coach. She did lead Illinois to their only Big Ten title in 1997. 2 Sweet 16 appearances for her with the Illini, 5 NCAA tournament appearances overall for a 12-year stint in Champaign.
And she had that East Coast accent and that flair, so you just kind of were like, man, I'm not messing with her.
Right, right.
Like you hear those guys, you're like, I'm not messing with them.
On the football side, Kurt Kittner. Yeah. And also Joe Rutkins, the defensive tackle who played back in 59 and 60 as a All-Big Ten first-teamer. But Kittner, one I'm familiar with. You know it better than I would because you covered him, and you've told stories about him in the past. But Big Ten championship winner, Sugar Bowl appearance, second-team All-Big Ten honors, his senior year, 3-year starter, over 8,000 career passing yards.
You know what's amazing to me? The year they won the Big Ten, Kittner was second-team All-Big Ten. And I didn't research like you would to find out
back who would have been
that guy when Illinois wins the Big Ten championship. Think about what we're talking about here. You're talking about Illinois women's basketball that won a Big Ten title under Grintz, and you're talking Illinois football that won a Big Ten title under Kurt Kittner. And I'm not saying under. He had a lot of help, including Josh Whitman, et cetera. But that just shows you how good these teams were and how good those players were. Kurt Kittner was to me, the perfect example of poise. He just never got ruffled. He just could not really get to him. And look, he had, I mean, his senior year was not a very great year, but Kurt Kittner had a plethora of targets with Brandon Lloyd and Aaron Moorhead and Walter Young and Greg Lewis. So that certainly helped make Kurt, but certainly Kurt helped make them. And it was fun to cover a guy like Kurt Kittner. He's one of my favorite athletes to ever cover at the University of Illinois. Corey Bradford, if there's a list of three, it's Kittner, Matt Heldman, and Corey Bradford, not in any order. Those were three of my favorites to cover at Illinois. Kurt Kittner would stand there and answer every question for you. You would have loved him, Pipes. He'd answer any question after a win or a loss. And, again, he reeked of poise, and I think Illinois needed that, right? And so it was really cool, and I'm more than excited to see a kid like Kurt Kittner go into the Hall of Fame. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, for me, around that time, that's junior high going into high school, and I loved watching that dude play. Like, he was, for a while, he was Superman to me. And so, like, fast forward a few years after he graduated, and he got, not under the best circumstances, but he got a shot with the Bears. And I really wanted that success for Kurt when he was under center in 2005 for the Bears. But, no, that's an awesome name to see go into the Illini Hall of Fame. That's fantastic.
Amen.
Had an incredible sophomore year, 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
In 1999,
right?
They win the Micron PC Bowl when he caught a touchdown.
Yes,
right,
he did.
in that game. And then 2001, when they win the Big Ten, he, like we said, second team All Big Ten. First team that year, Antoine Randall.
Is that right?
From Indiana.
Okay.
Yep. And if you look at it, Randall's stats.
I mean, Indiana could not have been that good. Were they 4-3?
I'd have to look that up.
I'm sorry. I could have done some research.
They were 5-6.
Yeah.
5-6, 9 touchdowns, 5 picks, 1,600 passing yards. Of course, much more of the wheels than the arm with him.
Right.
Nearly 1,000 yards on the ground, 8 touchdowns. So he was 6th in the Heisman, which I didn't remember he was up for Heisman that year.
There must have been a lot of hype for Antoine.
Oh,
yeah, and look, I'm sure his highlight tape was sick.
Yeah, I'm sure
he was an electrifying talent. Like, the best of the best from him was pretty special. But Kittner, led a team that obviously then went to the Sugar Bowl, 23 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, nearly 3,000 yards that year in 2001. You look also down the list, if you're going to go to basketball, Kejuan Garris.
Our guy, right?
All right.
Who it's long been known and hasn't set well with him, but really with fans too. The fact that his jersey's not up in the rafters. Now, when you think about it, you got to set some standards in terms of what's the criteria to get up there, and he didn't make it in terms of being an All-American or a Big Ten Player of the Year types of things. But he is still to this day the second all-time leading scorer in Illinois history with nearly 2,000 career points, 111 career games. He's also top 5 in assists, I believe, as well.
That sounds right.
2-time first-team All-Big Ten, 1996, 1997, second-teamer in 1995. Just didn't play on great Illinois teams, but put up big numbers. And I was young. The only thing I really remember is my mom always says he was one of the first players I started saying Kejuan as a little tyke. So
that's cute.
That was cool.
That is cool. I don't, for some crazy reason, have a ton of recollection. What am I trying to say? Recollection of
I was way off.
Of Kejuan. It's ironic that he holds the record for most free throw made in a row at Illinois, and yet missed the 3 against Mizzou, which unfortunately is something that a lot of Illini fans remember. Was it 3 that he missed there in overtime, or to not send it to overtime? Anyway, he just had to make 1 and didn't. But anyway, I mean, Kejuan Garris was a guy that the program was starting to get better with him, or it's just starting to get better in general after the Bruce Pearl and all that. And I know they had a few years there to get to him, but it's amazing what he was able to do, and the production that he was able to produce at Illinois was awesome. So I know I covered him for a year. I don't have a lot of memories necessarily of covering him, but he was one hell of a player, man. And he must be one of the favorites, because obviously, as Derek just noted, a lot of Illini fans feel like that is a major absent from the top of State Farm Center, not having Kejuan Garris's uniform up there.
He was the second guy I remember being a fan of as a kid when it came to Illini hoop. I mean, I remember being little watching the Flying Illini.
Oh, yeah.
But Deion Thomas was my guy.
Uh-huh.
And then it was Keywan. Like, that was the order in the 90s for me. So
Keywan was good.
Yeah.
He played, 10 years overseas, I think, right? So, good player.
Never averaged fewer than 15 points a game at Illinois' freshman year, 16 points, 4 assists per game. Got a lot of opportunity. He's a starter pretty much his entire career.
That's impressive. What did Yakuchonis average this year?
Yeah, I have to pull that up.
See, I keep. If I just do
I need to have
research,
this. I'll be writing a story tomorrow night from Brooklyn. So, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, compared to Keywan Garris, and I just, of course, X that out.
What was it? 16-4, I think.
Yeah, 16-4.
So he essentially averaged what KJ did last year.
True.
I mean, when you think about it,
True.
I mean, and I understand that.
Not quite the rebounding numbers, but yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what makes it pretty impressive. Now, obviously, Illinois needed a lot more points out of Keywan than they maybe needed out of KJ last year, but still, pretty impressive.
I think Matt from Sydney just nailed it because this is how I felt as a kid. He was the only hope back then that Illinois would win. There was a lot. I remember that. Just, Oh, gosh.
It's like you needed a special night out of Garris to get a victory.
Yeah.
Gene Vance also in there as a basketball induction from the Whiz Kids.
He was was he All-American 2 straight years or All Big Ten 2 straight years, and then he went to war?
Yep. All Big Ten.
All Big Ten.
Back-to-back years, went to war.
I know I've talked to Kent Brown about this and like my uncles and stuff that knew a lot about it, my dad, et cetera, but that 1943, I believe, Illinois team, and it says it here in this Hall of Fame thing, printout, but that 43 team with the Whiz Kids was considered to be the favorite to win the national championship, and then war happened. And they all went off, and I think he won a couple of medals, Gene Vance. And I know he came back and served as AD for a few years for Illinois. He's a guy, obviously, I didn't watch or know a lot about, but when you would talk to people that knew the Whiz Kids and how good they were, they always talk about those teams and how they could have won a national title, and that's too bad. And I don't want to use war as one of those typical, typical Illinois luck to have. I mean, that's a little bit grand, but it does stink to think you'd probably be the favorite to win the title, and they all went off and fought for their country, which is noble, which is really
one of
cool.
those. It is a grand what if in the story of Illinois athletics.
Maybe the biggest.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in a weird way. So, and then he came back and was second team All Big Ten 5 years later.
Right.
It's like, wow.
Crazy. Want to give a shout out to some others on this list. You've got swimming and diving star Jane Fonce Mansky, who was in the Olympics in 1928 and 1932, won a bronze medal, which is a super big deal.
It is big.
There in 1932 in the LA Games. Scott Spezio for baseball.
Yeah.
Familiar name.
All right.
Scotty, man, played 14 years or something in bigs.
That's right.
Won a World Series with the Cardinals. I think he won with another team as well,
The
if
Angels.
I remember that. Angels,
Right.
that's right.
2 World
That's right.
Series titles.
Scott
Had
Spezio.
the red soul patch. Should dye it orange for this induction.
And, of course, Scott had a lot of issues off the field and has overcome those. And I know within the last 5 years, I believe, he was a guest speaker at the banquet. What is it called? Dang it. Dan Hartleb does that banquet. And he was a guest speaker there. My son got to take a picture with him. And just to hear his story about how he kind of careened out of control off the field, but he's got it all back together, and kudos to him for that. So very cool, man. Guy that had he had more success in the bigs than he had in college.
Yeah.
And that's cool to see.
Benita Kelly Babridge, Aspen Burkett Miles are there for women's track and field, both multi-time All-Americans.
Awesome.
Kelly, 8-time All-American.
Jeez.
Burkett, I'm guessing Burkett.
Yeah.
7-time All-American, and also the record holder for Illinois in the 100-meter dash.
Wow.
Mike Durkin for the middle distance career, and also Olympic teams in 76 and 80. He's on there. I got a softball one here, Meredith Hackett Kind, who was a first-team All-American in 2012, finished 16-2 as a pitcher there. So pretty awesome. And I think that's all of them. Yeah. They'll be honored on Friday, October 10th, right ahead of the home football game against Ohio State, which will be the 11th. So
That'll
big
be
weekend
fun.
in Champaign.
Oh,
That's
man.
cool.
Yeah, that'll be great.
That's cool. What a daunting task to try to pick these Hall of Famers. And, you know, it's easy to understand who the Kurt Kittners are and the Kiwan Garrises are of the world, but some of these other, like, 8-time All-American in track and field that we don't maybe necessarily remember or didn't know much about certainly deserve that honor as well.
I guess
very cool.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I misspoke here with Hackett Ken. She was not a pitcher. Illinois was 16-2 in conference play that year. She is top 10 in several hitting categories, both for career and season. Sorry.
Sweet.
I wanted to get that correct.
Okay.
I know we're up against it. We got to catch a break. We'll be back. It is The Drive.
U.S. involvement in Iran was one and done. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. A White House official confirming President Trump has told Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu there will not be any more U.S. airstrikes on Iran. The president says he convinced Netanyahu not to break the ceasefire to respond to a deadly Iranian missile attack shortly before it started. Some media outlets, quoting unnamed sources, are claiming the strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities were ineffective. The White House responding quickly.
Within about a minute of me asking, I have this on the record denial from the defense secretary, Pete Hegseth. He now says, based on everything we have seen, and I've seen it all, our bombing campaign obliterated Iran's ability to create nuclear weapons. Our massive bombs hit exactly the right spot at each target and worked perfectly.
And Rafael Grossi, the director of the International Atomic Energy Agency, the UN's nuclear watchdog, tells Fox's The Story with Martha McCallum.
The Iranian nuclear program has been set back significantly.
Grossi says the difference in Iran's nuclear capacity since Friday is night and day. A planned classified briefing on the U.S.-Iranian airstrikes for members of Congress postponed today, prompting Democrat Senate leader Chuck Schumer to ask,
what are they afraid of? Why won't they engage Congress in the critical details? The results of the recent strike, the scope and trajectory of the conflict.
Texas Republican Congressman Pat Fallon tells Fox News the administration might be worried about leaks. The House has defeated a resolution by Texas Democrat Congressman Al Green to impeach the president, although 79 Democrats voted in favor of it. President Trump has arrived in The Hague, attending the two-day summit meeting of the NATO countries. Might be worried about leaks. The House has defeated a resolution by Texas Democrat Congressman Al Green to impeach the president, although 79 Democrats voted in favor of it. President Trump has arrived in The Hague, attending the two-day summit meeting of the NATO countries. He'll push the NATO member nations to more than double the contributions they make to their common defense. America is listening to Fox News.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1225. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1225. That's 800-777-1225. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225.
Another big day on Wall Street today. The Dow gained 507 points. Nasdaq added 282. The S&P 500 closed 67 points higher. The jury should get the sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs before the weekend.
When cross-examination of a final prosecution witness, a federal Homeland Security investigator, came to a close, prosecutors rested their case. Federal lawyers have presented 34 witnesses over 33 days, which included Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura and rapper Kid Cudi. The defense asked the judge to throw out all charges against Combs and end the case, claiming prosecutors did not prove racketeering and sex trafficking charges. Closing arguments are expected to start Thursday. In New York City, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The vice mayor of a town near Los Angeles is taking heat for a video posted to social media urging gangs to mobilize against immigration raids.
California officials here, they've bent over backwards, right, calling these protests peaceful. Well, here you have an elected official appearing to do just the opposite, asking leaders of the state's most violent criminal street gangs to confront police and federal agents.
You guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Torrance. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you.
That's Cynthia Gonzalez, vice mayor of Cudahy. It's a small city in Los Angeles, on Instagram, saying that the notorious Latino gangs, Florencia and 18th Street, should protect their turf.
Fox's William Lajeunesse reports Vice Mayor Gonzalez has called the ICE raids a war on brown people. New law in Texas requires first-ever warning labels on certain foods like chips and candies. Signed by Governor Abbott, the law says foods made with any of more than 400 dyes and additives have to have warning labels starting in 2027. I'm Jack Callahan, and this is Fox News.
It is the Drive with Tame Piper, ESPN Radio 93.5. We'll get to more of your texts as we go along. 217-359-2255. Did want to read Daryl's. Said, on the note of the Cardinals conversation, it's pretty pathetic when you have almost every streaming service and you cannot watch the Cardinals. When I want to watch it, I have to stream it illegally. And I'll throw this part in there. I can't stand that bow tie wearing Mo. Hard to go watch them in person with a subpar product, and the cost to go to a game is outrageous now. Not a good ROI.
Hard to argue.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
I agree. It can be frustrating. So I don't know. It's just kind of a weird time to get through with everything.
Yep. You know who's not having a hard time getting people to games this year? Illinois football.
No.
Because you got the sold out season tickets, and you were talking during the break about the offerings to go to road games has been sent out to season ticket holders, and man, that Indiana game's calling my name. I really want to go to that game. Now, I know a lot of Illini fans with a short trip will want to go there, and a lot of Indiana fans coming off the college football playoff are going to want to go to that game as well. But it had me thinking, I want to talk some about the road games because College Football 26, the new EA Sports game, dropped their top 25 toughest places to play in the upcoming game, which – this list doesn't change all that much year to year. I remember doing a segment similar to this a year ago, so I don't want to repeat and do all that, but I did want to mention, especially the places that Illinois will be going this year.
Okay.
You have a couple of names on that list. So you look at number 15, Camp Randall.
Yep.
Still up there. It's not been what a lot of people expected with Luke Fickell, really not even close. I thought that he would kind of hit the ground running once he went there. Maybe need a year or at max 2 to kind of transition, but then really have that thing humming. And it's not gone that way. They've taken a weird lane of, hey, we're going to take the ground and pound Wisconsin-style football, and here's the air raid. And it's just not worked.
And it's not Wisconsin fans won't put up with that for long.
They're not.
I mean, he needs to have a pretty good season. That game is November 22nd.
Yep.
Picture yourself in Madison, Wisconsin, November 22nd. You better take some clothing because that's going to be cold. And I'll be honest with you, when I looked at the list of road games, and I know we can get to that here in a bit, but I, first thought to myself, it would be great to get back to Camp Randall. I was there to cover a game once but as a media member, not as a fan. And I missed out on the tailgating and such. That would be fun. I mean, nobody tailgates like Wisconsin people. Let's put it out there. Now, Illinois' got great tailgates, so I should hold back a little bit. But, man, people in Wisconsin, man, they love their alcohol.
The SEC does it well, too. But, yeah,
they do. They do. You're right.
But there's a different level of toughness, a little thick skin.
Exactly.
We're here to party no matter what the weather.
So when I looked at that, I was like, respect. I want to go back to a game at Camp Randall. I don't want to go November 22nd. I mean, the chances are snow is probably pretty good. Yeah. It's just going to be really cold.
It will be cold. I've always wanted to go to a game there. Mm-hmm. And, with respect to the ranking, I've always thought of Camp Randall as one of the best places to go in terms of if you want to go as a visiting fan, or if Illinois is going there, you do in prior years worry if they're going to get the hammer dropped on their head and you lose by 5 touchdowns or whatever it might be. But
that could be a huge game this year.
It could be a really big game. It might be a sneaky tough game in that we're not at the outside of this year circling it as here's a big swing game, or as Illinois gets deep into a college football playoff push, which we're all hoping, that you don't want to drop this one, but it could be tough to go and steal one on the road. I think when you factor in, though, that Wisconsin, the fans are down on the team right now. They're not projected to have that great of a squad. And when you look at their schedule, they could be kind of beaten down by the time it gets to this game. They have a loaded schedule. They have to go to Alabama in September. In October, they have a stretch where they go at Michigan, host Iowa, host Ohio State, go to Oregon. They also play at Indiana right before they play Illinois. Okay. And it could be a tough year. And maybe if it's on if everything goes wrong, or if it just doesn't go right, Luke Fickell, could he be a mid-year Paul Chryst, you're out type of thing?
Isn't that crazy?
Could happen. So maybe that's one where Illinois could catch a break. Team that just is ready for this season to be done.
Think about that. Paul Chryst lost his job after a loss to Illinois and Brett Bielema, who used to coach Wisconsin. Imagine Luke Fickell then, you losing his job after a loss to Illinois that Brett Bielema, who used to coach Wisconsin, is coaching.
And boy, would Brett love to do that to Fickell. Because remember the game here in Champaign with the ineligible. Is he eligible? Is he not eligible? Well, he was eligible. He just didn't report, right?
Mm-hmm. That did not make Brett Bielema
make Brett happy at all.
That'll be interesting. And I'm with you on that. I've thought of that before, of how critical that game could be if Illinois is sitting there, let's say, with 2 losses, and you can't have a third loss, let's say, if you're going to make the playoffs. Was there a team that had 3 losses this year in the playoffs?
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Indiana only had 2, right?
I think it was
2
no,
they
less.
only had 1.
They
only had 1.
2 or less for everybody.
I think that's correct, yeah.
So you almost felt like when Illinois lost that game to Minnesota, which was their 3rd, I think, loss, right? And
Bama was on the cusp as a 3-loss.
Yeah, that's
team,
right. That's right. So that's when you knew that Minnesota game, when you lost your 3rd, and it was Minnesota. Nothing against Minnesota. They were a good team last year, but they're not some prominent powerhouse. So when you lost that, you felt like the axe had been, dropped essentially on Illinois making a playoff. So if you're Illinois and you have lost, let's say, to Ohio State at home, and let's say you drop one of the 2 at either Duke or Indiana, then all of a sudden that Wisconsin game, everything else is a must-win. And that will be interesting. And I know you and I talked about this. We talked about it a while ago, how the importance of those early games against Duke and Indiana. And the most important thing to me is, listen, I hope Illinois beats Ohio State. I think Illinois can beat Ohio State this year. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm not counting that as a win. I'm just not.
Yeah.
Until that's done and we've won and we're back in the tailgate lots just going absolutely nuts, then I'm not counting Ohio State as a victory.
But you floated that possibility out there. I saw what you did.
I could see Piper out there just playing Pong.
Go fight in the lineup.
Pong. What is Pong?
Beer pong.
Beer pong. So
what is Pong?
So without
you could call it Pong.
Knowing that the Ohio State game, let's say, could be a loss, you got 2 road games there that are not easy with Duke and Indiana early in the season. So if for some reason you would lose one of those, now you're in a must-win mode after the Ohio State game if for some reason that happens.
Well, and if that happens, you're coming into that, then you go on the road to Washington, which is
That's
not
right.
going to be an
Nope.
easy game by
Not
any
at all.
means. But when we're talking about Camp Randall in the Wisconsin game, that's the start of the Thanksgiving week that we have talked about more than once, because you've got the basketball team going to MSG that weekend. So you're looking at that Saturday, 22nd at Wisconsin, and then post-Thanksgiving is when you always wrap up with Northwestern.
Absolutely.
So I mean, those are two very, very, very winnable, should-be-win games that should make for a fun week for the – It should, but –
It would be neat to be in that spot where you're like, if we just don't lose these last 3 games or so, we'll be in the playoffs. Now, you won't know that, but to go into the last, let's say, 3 games of the season for Illini football, knowing what's at stake, that would be pretty cool.
Huge.
I mean, it would be awesome.
Yeah, just to see yourself on those college football playoff rankings, projected brackets. Every week they sit down and say, this is the Illinois resume and how they stack up. So start to think maybe you're in the – I don't know that you'd be in the Big Ten. You have to probably beat Ohio State to really feel like you're in like the Big Ten title game
I'm with you.
picture. I know there's been a lot of fans out there, that's cute that Illinois basketball's going to be playing Tennessee and Nashville. We'll be at the Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis. So, hey, dream the dream. This is the time to do it right now in the summer while you're sitting back and thinking what could happen. So, speaking of which, in the tailgate lots, I kind of maybe want to start a Play Pong with Piper campaign.
Ooh.
I like that.
I'll come to your tailgate and play Pong, except what could happen, I want to throw the random wild card in there. I could take over your tailgate's TV with an Atari and just actually play Pong. So you will not be watching any other games.
People are like, he's not as cool as I thought.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't have said that, because now the amount of potential invites just went to zero.
Everybody was like ready to bid,
I know,
and then
right?
they're like, oh.
How do we get in there? No, yeah.
Never mind.
We knew he wasn't cool.
Never mind.
But to go back to, speaking of gaming, I'm not going to do that. The college football 26 list, if you look at Big Ten teams, Camp Randall is 5th among Big Ten toughest venues. You got, as far as Big Ten goes, this is number 2 national, but number 1 in the Big Ten, Beaver Stadium, Penn State. Ohio Stadium, number 3, Cashew. You've got Autzen Stadium, Oregon, where Illinois was last year.
It was tough.
I would say.
That's one way to put it.
They're number 9 nationally, 3rd in the Big Ten, 10th nationally, 4th in the Big Ten, Michigan Stadium, the big house.
The big house.
And you got Camp Randall. The next one on the list in the Big Ten, Illinois also goes to this year, that being Husky Stadium.
Interesting.
18th nationally.
Okay.
They're one spot ahead of Kinnick, which we know how tough Kinnick is.
Is that right?
I don't know that Iowa fans are going to feel like that's a proper ranking.
I don't think so.
I'm not as familiar with the scene in Washington, other than I know they sailgate.
Yep.
And I can imagine that is pretty great. But we're gonna learn, and that could be a
huge.
I think we've heard enough people say it now, especially if you're starting to read some of the early national thoughts, early Big Ten thoughts, that hey, don't sleep on Washington, and their quarterback's supposed to be pretty good. I say that, and I don't even know the name off the top of it. It's Desmond Williams Jr., former highly touted recruit, and Washington's only 1 year removed from a college football playoff final appearance.
That's right.
So do they bounce back this year? That could be tough.
And a week after Ohio State at home.
That's
So
right.
you could be either coming off a momentous win, where you're just on top of the world, and then knowing that Brett Bielema's got to get you back under control in a hurry, because now you're heading to Washington. The good news there, you get a week off. So as I stare at the schedule there, that's maybe the good news. Coming off either, of course, if you beat Ohio State, you're going to want to play the next day, right? But if you would lose to Ohio State, you're going to have that week off going to Washington then on the 25th. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. And I'm kind of wanting to get to that game. So maybe I could have firsthand account of how difficult it is to play in Seattle. Is it Seattle?
Yeah.
Seattle, Washington. So I know
it'll be a heck of a time.
I know it's not easy to win against the Seahawks in Seattle.
True. Yeah.
And I'm guessing that the college fans are the same way. I'm sure a lot of them are both Huskies fans and Seahawks fans, obviously. So if the Seahawks are like the 12th man, I'm sure that Washington's not easy to do.
But if we're talking Illini football and playoffs,
let's go.
This is the stuff we're talking about.
That's
right?
a huge 2-game.
This is what playoff teams would do.
That's right.
You got to welcome that challenge.
Yep,
So
I agree. And then you'd have Rutgers and Maryland at home, then that trip to Wisconsin. So,
yeah,
and that all sets up pretty interesting. That's cool. So that's how they ranked him. Did they go outside of the top 25? Like, do we know what Illinois is? No.
They only do the top 25 toughest places to play. Big Ten relevant. I said Kinnick is 19. There's one more that I haven't mentioned in the Big Ten.
Oh.
If I give you a couple guesses, I don't think you'd get it, honestly. This isn't a knock on you. It's kind of more skepticism of this place being there. I'm kind of maybe tipping it off then. But
can I guess?
Yeah.
Maryland?
No.
I
should have just. I framed it terribly. I should have just had you guess who should be next.
Who should be next? Well, that's kind of the way I'm going
top,
at this.
Yeah, top 25.
Michigan State?
Tough. Yep.
Okay.
That's what I was going to be.
Spartan Stadium.
Yeah, I can see
number
that.
24.
I do not agree with Iowa being that low. If you just look at the record that Iowa has at home at Kinnick.
They get rowdy in Kinnick, man.
I mean,
I could argue for Camp Randall and Iowa to be flipped.
Agree.
No knock on Camp Randall, but it's been a little bit since.
I don't even know what to Google to find out what the home record at Kinnick has been for the last 10 years, but I bet it's been extremely solid.
Yep.
So I just
don't see Michigan State like that.
I don't either, to be honest with you. I've been to that stadium, and it's not – it's a nice stadium, but it's not like overwhelmingly what's the word I'm looking for? Like in terms
imposing?
of – yeah, imposing. I didn't think so, but I don't know. That's interesting.
Lindy brought up USC. USC could be a team that would be on there. Surely it has been in previous years.
You would think, right?
Top 25 toughest places to play. Nebraska. How sour do you think Nebraska fans feel like, hey, we sold out how many years in a row? We're not even on top 25?
I can't believe I guessed Michigan State over Nebraska.
Nebraska should be over Michigan
State. I mean, you're talking about a stadium that's sold out 439 or whatever straight. Come on. Yeah, whatever. These are...
Yeah, it's just a video game.
Right. It's just making billions of dollars.
Sure is.
So this is number 2, right? So last year was the return of it, right?
Last year was the return. And I thought it did really well.
Now, let me ask you
not
this.
only financially, but it was a really good game.
Will you get this year's as well?
It's funny. Now, I would be... Some would say a sucker. Some would say loyal or whatever you want to call it. And I was a gamer growing up.
Yeah.
That I would get the new game every year.
I would too,
usually
like Madden.
You're paying for the roster.
Yep.
And there's maybe not that many changes to what the gameplay is. Most likely, I will get the new college football. I'm past the point of being a Madden year in and year out. I actually got both last year, and 90% of the time that I did play a football game on PS5, I'd get
it was college.
It was college, yeah. Maybe even more than that, 98.
Well, I think what's cool, too, is that Illinois is good.
Yeah.
And helps. I think that definitely helps steer the conversation to where, well, I want to get this year's as well, because Illinois should be rated higher this year than they were last year, I would assume, when they won 10 games. So I would want that game where I knew that going in Illinois was going to be good. I know you can do the franchise and everything and, expand it for 10 years and see what happens, but
get Lon on a deep dive into recruiting.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Turn Uncle Lon loose. Yep. To answer your question about the Hawkeyes record at Kinnick, quick bit of research, they averaged 6 wins at home. Excuse me, 6 wins at home.
And that's usually you play.
They were undefeated last year. Year before that, they went 7-1.
Okay.
At home. So,
I'm telling you.
They've only lost 1 game in the last 2 years at Kinnick and average 6 wins a year. You talk about, well, how does Ferentz win 8 or more every year? Well,
they don't lose at home.
They don't lose at home. There you go.
That's why I was surprised that Kinnick would be that low, because they just flat out don't lose at home, and Wisconsin has been losing at home lately. So that's the one bug in the college football 26. We found it. We found the bug.
We got it. Before we close the book on this topic, I want to give you the top 5 in the country. Can I?
Bring
top
it.
5 toughest places to play in the country.
LSU night.
LSU is number 1.
Is it really?
Yeah, Tiger Stadium number 1.
I didn't know it'd be 1.
Beaver Stadium number 2. The Shoe number 3. Do you want to guess on 4? Or you want me to just tell you? You can guess.
Clemson.
Clemson's number 6.
Are they?
That was a good guess. It is south.
Bama. I mean, I was going to say
Bama's number 5.
Okay.
Bryant-Denny Stadium number 5.
Not Auburn.
Texas.
It's an SEC team.
Texas is 13.
No. Well, they suck.
They suck. Florida?
Florida's 7.
The
Swamp.
Georgia? Did you already say Georgia? Did we already
Did not. Georgia.
Aha.
Oh, yeah, good call. Georgia.
Yeah.
Toughest place to play because that Bulldog will bite your face off.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to stay away from him.
He is feisty. There's clips through the years of him.
They're feisty.
It's someone you want to stay away from.
Getting at it.
Might bite your leg.
I love that. Well, that's cool. That's cool to hear that. It was funny because what I had talked about the break is getting the email about the ability until July 9th to buy tickets for road games. And I was sitting there thinking, all right, and I've said this before on the air, that there are some super easy games to get to this year in terms of Indiana, Purdue, and even
Wisconsin's not
Wisconsin.
that far.
No, that's what, 3 hours, maybe 3.5.
Yeah.
So there are some doable games to get to on the road if this was the year you wanted to go. And being that it's the year that Illinois should have a really good season, I would think that a lot of Illini fans would think, hey, we got a chance to – I mean, if you went to Wisconsin, Purdue, and Indiana, you're going to what, 3 of the 5, I think, road games right there. Now, I am looking into the Duke game because I've kind of always wanted a reason to go out to that area and see the campuses of Duke and North Carolina and NC State. I bet it would be.
Yeah.
I've been to South Carolina. I've been to Charlotte, North Carolina, but I've never been to those campuses. And I would love to just take a long weekend, like maybe a Thursday through Sunday, and just go out and check all that out. But what's amazing is in real life, you have to spend money to do that. And so you start thinking, all right, well, that's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday hotel. Saturday, you're staying in Durham probably, and that's going to be expensive because it's game day. I mean, we know how that happens here in Champaign. The ticket to the Duke game is only $40. So that's doable. But it was interesting that was 40. I think Indiana was 50. Purdue was 40. And then Washington is $75 for that game. So I said, are they still living a little bit off that national title appearance?
Might be.
Maybe.
Or still paying Great Osobor and NIL.
Yo!
Well, listen, people are paying it, so
Sniper Piper.
They have to. I know, Sniper Piper. And then, of course, Wisconsin on November 22nd. But I don't know. I've got to make it. I sent an email today to Lucas. I'm like, I got to make a decision if we're doing the Washington game because I can get the tickets now instead of waiting. But, man, I would just hate myself if Illinois, beat Ohio State, let's say, or if that was their first loss and now you got this huge game in Seattle and we didn't go. And it's like, ugh. Then isn't sports funny? Like, do I want to spend all that money and fly all the way to Washington and then we lose?
I know, right?
It's like, oh man! But if you win, then it's a memory
Greatest
for a lifetime.
Time ever. Yeah, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to you.
But why wouldn't you? Because, like you said, Sailgate. Or I'm sorry, Sailgate.
Yeah.
And
you're the guy who would talk your way onto
absolutely.
Somebody's
Oh,
boat.
Uncle Lon would totally do it. Easy.
He would be the number one guy if I were to say, okay, I can go to this.
Yes.
And I won't know anybody. I'm bummed I wasn't with you at the Grove because we would have been hanging off of someone's chandelier where they had those. At
Go
the
fight in the
tailgates.
line. The best was at Kinnick when Carp and Warner and I did our show over there, and those two both went to the game. Carp had a ticket. Warner covered it. I went to a local bar in Iowa City. When they both showed up after the game, there were I was talking to 25 people, and I'm like, hey, if we want to go with these guys, they live up in Cedar Rapids or whatever. And they're having a band tonight, and these guys
insane.
I knew the whole bar, and I was like, let's go.
Insane.
There's this group that's called Mini Kiss. They're little people, but they cover Kiss songs, and they're playing up in Cedar Rapids. It's going to be great, guys. We should go.
They said
there.
they'd drive us, and we can hang on their couch. So, oh, it was so funny. Hey, everybody's just like us. They just root for a different team, you know.
True.
Get them talking sports.
It's true. You know what? There is an Uncle Lon in every fan base.
That's exactly right.
It's just we got to make sure you don't cross paths.
We just have the best
because then
one.
it could be the end of the world.
God.
We have the best one.
We do have the best one, buddy.
Kudos
We
to
sure
you
do.
guys. You guys are nice. Yeah. I'm not going to become friends with people in Bloomington, though. They'll all have red hair, and I'm just be like, you just kind of creep me out a little bit.
That's the one I want to go to.
I do want to do that. I do want to go to Bloomington.
Have you done some of the bars there? Like
No.
Nick's and
No. The only time I've ever been to Bloomington was to cover a game, except for this last year in basketball when Andrew and I went. Well, Andrew's 17 at the time, so it's not like I'm going to hit many bars, but we did hit that one cool pizza place that was like the place for that area, and it was really good. Really good. But I've heard you and Wagner tell me stories. I've heard other Illini fans tell me stories how it's a great place to go visit. And
you made friends last year.
Yeah.
You went to the game in
Absolutely.
when Illinois smoked the Hoosiers.
Oh, my goodness.
And there's Uncle Lon making friends.
Just chatting with the Indiana
Assembly
crew.
Hall, making Bob Knight jokes.
How he shoots people.
God.
Remember he shot his hunting partner?
Well, I do remember that. I hadn't thought about it in a while.
I didn't want to pull that out as the final straw in the argument, but I finally pulled it out. I'm like, well, listen, I mean, your coach shot somebody. And the one guy right behind me goes, dude, he got you there. He won. Because I went into listen, when I go into arguments, I don't want to be an enemy, and I don't want to get in a fight. I've never been in a fight. I wouldn't win many. So I always go in with the caveat of, look, I think Bob Knight's one of the best coaches he's one of the best coaches ever. It's there. The national titles are there, you know. Yeah. But I said, but he's an a-hole. And we hate him. And this is why we hate him. And then what's going to happen naturally, an Indiana fan's going to be like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, hold on now. Now you're getting out of hand. You know, so they're going to fight back. And so I had to bring up the shooting episode. And
had to bring it up.
That's
the only way you were going to win
the argument. You know, going into an argument when you have the final salvo.
Yeah,
you know,
you need that. You need that ace in the hole, don't you?
You just kind of have fun with it for a while. Then you're like, all right, it's time to pull out the big boy, the hammer.
That's why those banners are red.
Exactly.
What the hell?
I should have used that line.
All right, we're due for a break. 217-359-2255. You want to weigh in?
Gracious.
We'll be back. It is The Drive.
Hey Illini fans, it's Luke Altmaier here, starting quarterback for your Fighting Illini football team.
Get to him, he's going to run right, he's in, touchdown, touchdown, Illinois, Luke Altmaier, what a throw by Altmaier.
Altmaier's big time. We invite you to be a part of the action this year at Memorial Stadium. After a 10-win season and a Citrus Bowl victory, get your season tickets now for 2025 and make this season unforgettable.
When the storm rolls in, where will you go? Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your family with a custom storm shelter from Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services. At Berg Tanks, their shelters are fiberglass and plate steel safe rooms that can be installed in your garage or exterior, in ground, or on a concrete pad. Built to withstand the toughest storms, giving you a safe, secure place when you need it most. Whether you need a compact unit for a small space or a larger shelter for the whole family, they've got you covered. Their expert team handles everything from excavation to installation so you can have peace of mind before the next storm strikes. Berg Septic also specializes in septic pumping, new system installation, grease trap cleanings, repairs, and maintenance plans to keep your home running smoothly. Call Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services today at 217-367-8632 or visit them online at bergtanksinc.com. That's bergtanksinc.com. Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm. of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
Hi, this is Kevin Rogers, president of the Philo Exchange Bank. Our bank's been through the ups and downs of the local agricultural community since 1883. With over 147 years of combined lending experience, let our local ag lenders work with you and help your farming operations succeed. Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The last full weekend in June, Tolono Fun Days has all kinds of unique experiences, including both days featuring a zip line, rock climbing wall, and extreme bounce pad. Take a turn for $5 or numerous turns with a $20 wristband. Brought to you by the Village of Tolono. The golf cart parade on Friday night will start at 8 o'clock along the 5K route. The 5K steps off at 6 with the Kids Dash at 5:30. Pre-registration is encouraged for the 5K as you visit TolonoFundays.org. Find the drop-down for run sign-up. The vendors, the food, the fun, the music, all around Westside Park. The 11 a.m. parade steps up on Saturday, June 28th. The parade will begin at Eastside Park, where in the early afternoon hours, you can take a Summer Skies helicopter ride for $40 a person. Catch a free golf cart shuttle ride around town. Be sure to bring some extra money to support the Fireworks Fund. Get some raffle tickets and try to win the top prize of $2,000. Make plans to join me in my hometown of Tolono. TolonoFundays.org for details.
Back on the drive with Sam Piper, ESPN Radio 93.5. Carmen weighs in on the Max Twin City Recycling text line. Where's the pizza place in Bloomington? I'll be there for the game on September 27th.
It's called Mother Bear's Pizza. And the first remark to it is great place to hang out, especially on the Indiana University campus. It's a little bit right on the edge. Well, there might be two of them, to be honest with you. Andrew and I went to the one that was a little bit on the edge of campus, but it was really good. It reminded me a little bit of Papa Del's, but not the pizza. Mm-hmm. You know, Papa Del's, of course, has the extra large crust and stuff.
The deep dish.
The deep dish, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe Mother Bear's has that. We didn't order a deep dish, but the pizza was excellent. The beer was cold. The booths and stuff that you could sit in, like people wrote their names on them and stuff, so it's kind of got that old school feel. I would recommend it. It was a great place to eat, and you had kind of that college atmosphere. In fact, that night, of course, Illinois played Indiana in basketball. There were a lot of Hoosiers fans in there eating pizza before the game. So it probably – do you remember you know where Bunny's obviously is in Urbana? What was the pizza place for the Jolly Rogers?
Jolly Rogers is so underrated. So underrated,
That's what
man.
it kind of reminded me of,
Yeah.
was Jolly Rogers.
And that had kind of a Monocle's vibe to it,
It
as
did.
well.
It was a skinny pizza. Yep.
Oh, underrated. Good call.
Did you ever eat at Jolly Rogers?
When I was younger, yeah.
Okay. Isn't there – now, this is terrible of me, but, like, what's the place – I'm talking a bar now in Urbana by the library that plays a lot of music?
You thinking of the Rose Bowl?
No. This is more near the University of Illinois Library.
Okay.
Is that still in Urbana, I think? There's one street there that has a bar on it. That is it
You're
the
not thinking
Canopy
Canopy?
Club?
Are you thinking of Canopy?
Canopy
Yeah.
Club.
Yeah.
Isn't there a restaurant right next to that
Yeah.
sells pizza? And I think that is the old Jolly Rogers pizza.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
I'm having a brain fart. Of the name of
Timponi's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And so they've got the...
or it's very similar, at least. I remember some people, we ate their pizza one night, and I was like, man, this tastes so similar to something. And they're like, yeah, it tastes similar to Jolly Rogers. I'm like, it does. So, you know, and I never remember to go there on that little, I've never been to the Canopy Club.
Oh, man, that's my home away from home.
Is
when
it
comes
really?
To, oh, well, it used to be for a long time. I try to catch a show every once in a
I'm
while
just going
there.
to go tonight, just for the hell of it.
You could. I'll tell you what, there's a lot
Are they even
of...
open?
You weren't there when Wiz Khalifa was there and I was in college?
Man, Wiz was just back there like a week
I
or
couldn't
two
see you
ago.
through the smoke. Yeah.
Did you go to see Wiz? Not that
I may
long
have been
ago?
there.
I may have been there.
Yeah.
He remembered getting there. He didn't remember leaving. Oh, Wiz.
Well, it's Dre.
Oh, this is Dre. I'm sorry. I do know this is Dre, yeah.
But I don't have any Wiz. I'm just thinking. I'm trying to imagine Pipes smoky bar.
Bring your green hat.
Just kind of floating.
Floating around. Bring your green hat.
I got to work tomorrow, everybody. No, man, I love the Canopy Club.
I do need to go to the Canopy Club. I've never been.
Manolo's is the pizza next to Canopy. Thank you, Tim, on the text line.
Manolo's. Okay.
Manolo's, yeah.
Okay.
That is, and they've got empanadas they sell there as well. It's good stuff.
Okay.
No, but you've really nothing. Never been to the Canopy.
I haven't.
Wow.
I don't know why. I guess
nobody that ever went there that struck your fancy. I guess.
Yeah, and I probably don't ever honestly see it.
Right.
Right. Like I wouldn't know who's there unless I literally got on the Canopy Club.
Their website, or socials. Well, I mean, it is really rare when they have, and I'm not pigeonholing you here, Lon.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
But like the classic rock bands or something like that.
Right.
I'm trying to think. The last one I can remember was like they had Cheap Trick there, and that was maybe a decade ago.
Cool. Yeah,
but in that setting,
that
really
or country, cool. Like
and they'll do country every once in a while, but they really kind of follow what kids at the university want to hear.
Yeah, for sure. Now the weirdest part about me, you guys laugh about Wiz Khalifa. Is it Khalifa? Khalifa. There is nobody that loves house music more than me.
Oh, well, dude, then you got to go. They play a lot of house
music.
music.
Do they really? Like, I
there's
swear
a lot of
to you,
DJs. That's the majority of it.
I love going in and just having that, I love that.
Listen, we're
is
learning.
It really?
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. Like, there are DJs, I would say, probably 4 nights out of the week at the Canopy.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. And it's the house music, EDM, whatever.
That's what I love.
Find Lon's new hangout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll meet everybody at the.
He's no longer doing the small town bar tour. He's at the Canopy Club.
Bumping
to the music. Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
That was when he was in his rave stage.
Yeah.
Lasted 3 weeks. He got tired.
He was 54 then. Lindy said Village Inn Pizza. Yeah, that was over by Round Barn
That was
Center,
a good one.
right? That was good. Yeah, and then Raymond, how do you say it?
Timponi.
Timponi.
Yeah, Timponi's right there. It's not. I don't know that it's an Italian place, right?
Yeah,
they got pizza. I've heard it's pretty good. Yeah.
And their brother. Okay, so Michael ran Jolly Roger, and was it Jolly Rogers or Jolly Roger? Doesn't matter. Well, I don't want to be my mom, where it's like
Jolly Roger. I think.
Okay. Like mom would be, well,
no,
can we run by Myers and pick up bread? And I'm like, it's Meyer. But,
yeah, Jolly Roger.
Jolly Roger. B96, the Friday night dance party.
You could totally do this.
Oh, I like this song too.
It's a good one.
Call on me. Yeah, like people would not
You just wait for the beat to drop, Uncle Lon, and then you're into it.
And then you just start jumping.
Go Illini!
Holding my Busch Light in one left hand, and I'm just like, got my right arm up in the air, and I'm just like, let's go!
He's got glow sticks in the other hand.
Sweating,
sleeveless
like,
t-shirt.
Whose dad is that?
Why does he keep doing the Running Man? Why does he keep
my
doing
dad.
That's my dad. Why does he keep...
There you go. Or maybe you do a point, you just keep pointing
No,
up.
I don't. I snap my fingers when I start dancing. Why? I don't know. I don't know how I ever got
I can't believe nobody loves house music as much as I do.
I love house music.
God,
I
have fun on this show.
I told you the other day, like I just clicked on B96 or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Because I love that kind of beat. Sometimes it just takes my mind away from everything. Well, hell, I'm going to be at the Canopy Club tonight at 7.
There you go.
If anybody wants to join me.
Now I got to know who's there tonight.
No, here's the funny part. The DJ probably starts at 10.
I was just
safe bet.
It'll be me and one other dude having a beer at a quiet bar at 7. I'm like, hey, what's up? Can you get the Cardinals-Cubs game on?
Who is this guy?
Oh, you got a DJ tonight. Well, yeah, he's setting up, but he's not on for another 3 hours. Oh.
We're giving the Canopy Club so much free.
We really are.
He gets there. He's like, you're the new door guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Why do I have to pay a cover?
You don't
There's
got to
nobody
be
here
here for 2 more hours. No one's coming.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and get your entry fee now.
Yeah, right.
Right? Well, I'm not going to be here at 10. I don't care, man. I can't trust you. Yeah. Do they still do Piano Man? at the Cannonball.
That used to be a popular thing when I was
okay.
I don't know.
So let me
Not
ask
sure.
you this: like when you were in college, I'm sorry, everybody, that I've kind of stolen the mic again and gone anywhere but sports.
It's all right.
It's cool.
When you were in
I
college,
don't even remember where we were going to go.
I don't either. Derek, did you? So you would hang out mainly at the like Brothers and.
I was primarily a Cam's and Joe's guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But every once in a while, you guys would branch off, go to.
I went to Canopy for a show or two, but not that often.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how that worked, so.
I would go there because they always had. When I was in college, they had a ton of rock bands.
Oh wow!
So I was
That'd
there
be
a lot.
cool.
I was there a lot for that. And,
That would be cool.
And yeah, and they I don't know, they quit doing that for a while, and then it was a lot of jam bands. They still do some jam bands there, and in EDM and DJ,
Yeah,
house
and stuff
music,
like
all
that.
Yeah.
So Southern, of course, had the Strip, and that was where like Sidetracks, the Tap, Sticks, that kind of all those were at. That's mainly where you would go. But like Checkers, every once in a while would play. They'd play the house music, but it was over by Lewis Park, so it's a pretty good walk if you didn't. But then my junior year, I lived in Lewis Park, so I'd go to Checkers all the time, and yeah, it was pretty cool. So.
We had, and it's still there, Friends and Company at EIU. Well, not just there. Oh, gosh. I'm going to forget the name of the venue. Friends and Company, it was like CBGB's in Charleston in its heyday. Like New York CBGB's. Like rock and roll club,
Okay.
and it had national acts there 4 or 5 nights out of the week. And that was kind of the glory days for it. So that was kind of my bar in college, just because I love live music. But
What was the place in Charleston that like they had teen night? We would go on Sunday nights.
I don't know. I'm gonna guess Ike's mom's.
Wasn't Ike's or mom's? You couldn't drink. Somebody will text it.
Somebody will text it in.
It was a big place.
Bill's Warehouse, is that what I'm thinking? That's another one that had live music all the time back in the day, and
Yeah.
had national acts as
Yeah.
well.
That's awesome.
On the pizza note, Lindy did bring in a good one. Village Inn Pizza was a bit underrated as well. I like
I
Village
agree.
Inn.
Yep.
100%.
I went there quite a bit as a kid.
That was good pizza. I wonder why that closed.
I'm not sure.
Because it was always packed.
Felt that way, yeah.
Right?
A nice
So-
little game room section down in that
Yep.
bottom. Easy for kids to go be entertained, not bug their parents. Not that I've now learned about the. Yeah, right.
Who said that?
Are you not entertained? Yeah, who did say that?
What?
Okay, so the other
Gladiator.
Oh, it was
What?
Gladiator.
What?
Okay. The other day, I'm
No, I haven't seen it before you. Before you ask. No.
The other day, I am
Band of
loading up
Brothers.
I'm loading up the back of my truck with tables and chairs, and I had like 2 other things I had to put on top, and one of them just kept sliding off, and it was 500 degrees. I'm sweating. Literally, my shirt is drenched. I keep throwing it back on the truck. It keeps falling off, and I finally just stop, and I look around in my backyard, and I'm like, are you not entertained? I'm picturing all my neighbors looking at me going, ha, watch this. He's going to put it on top again. So I literally just spoke to myself. Teen night was, wait.
Mike in Tolono says Trackers.
I think it was Crackers.
I think he means Crackers.
Crackers,
I think he means
yeah.
EL Crackers.
It
There
was
you
Crackers,
go. Yeah.
Pagliai's Pizza. They still have one of those in Charleston.
Yeah. Yeah. Polly-Eyes. Polly-Eyes.
I'm sorry, Polly-Eyes.
Yeah.
They had one at Southern, too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Still good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Mitch has a great idea on the Max Twin City Recycling text line.
Let's hear it.
Get Pia's to take us over to Indiana on the bus.
Okay.
The Drive Takes a Drive, sponsored by Pia's, chaperoned by Luke Goody.
Oh,
$300 to $500
All right.
per ticket there and back. Money goes to a charity or icon, and we'd be feeling pretty good by the time we get to Bloomington.
Oh, my Lord.
That's fantastic.
I'm in.
The Drive
I
Takes a
am
Drive.
in.
That's
The Drive
fantastic.
Takes
That's,
a
that's
Drive.
really good.
That's 3 hours.
I don't know if you're in PR or anything, but that's or marketing.
Takes a drive. Listen, I'm in.
Yeah, let's
We're
do
all
it.
in stunned silence, Mitch, because
We
it's
are.
a good idea.
Let's
Everyone's
do
like,
it.
"Well, why aren't we doing that? That's a great idea.
That's a lot of pre-gaming.
It is.
How fun would
We're
that
just
be?
going to run back Lon listing all the whole alcohol list that's going to be on the bus. What do we need? All right, let's just go back to the podcast. This many.
I know
cases of
exactly what
this,
you need.
and-
I know exactly. Lindy's going to talk to Chad tonight and get it rolling. Let's go. That would be fun. We'll have Hans D DJing on the bus.
That'd be sweet.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine the rolling DJ just...
You think Goody would wear the split like T-shirt.
Oh,
I think he could maybe like sew his Illinois jersey and his.
That
He's
would
got
be
like
cool.
quite a few jerseys. So maybe an Illinois jersey sewn together with an Indiana jersey. You think he would do that? He wouldn't go full on Hoosier, right? Not even.
Wonder if he just goes neutral.
He's not going to be there anymore.
Well, that is true. Does he just go neutral and just wear like,
I don't know,
like a fishing shirt? I'm picturing him in one of those Columbia fishing shirts. That's definitely him. It'd be
Where
hot,
you get him?
though.
We tell Luke, all right, wear something that shows your true allegiance. He shows up in a Bass Pro hat. And
That's what the kids wear these days. Oh, Wade, stop.
I know.
Wade always tries to get us back on track.
Mike and Tolono.
I'll answer your questions, Wade, before we get out of here. Don't you worry.
Thank you again to Mike and Tolono. It's Ted's Warehouse, and I knew that. I think I said Bill's Warehouse. But yeah, Ted's Warehouse was
I didn't hear you
the
say
spot
that.
in Charleston that always had great live music back in the day.
Yeah. That's Charleston has some good spots, man.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Chucktown.
All right, 217-359-2255, Max Twin City Recycling text line. If you want to weigh in before we get out of here, which is coming up shortly, we got to catch a break. We'll come back, wrap up the show. It is The Drive.
We're back. We have Paul Reekin from Dick Van Dyke Appliance World on the air. Paul, what makes buying an appliance at Dick Van Dyke so special?
Well, Chris, it all starts with our service department. We have an in-house service team that's second to none. And Chris, is that a dog in the background?
Max, keep it down. Have a snack, buddy. Go ahead, Paul.
With our in-house service team, we have our free 10-year protection plan included on most appliance purchases.
Paul, sorry. Let me close the window here.
Should we start over? Or?
Nope, we are on the air.
All right, so with our free protection plan, we also give you a lifetime discount on the service call even after the 10 years runs out.
Hey, cut it out for a second. Sorry, Paul, I have a basement remodel going on. Did you say a service call discount for the life of the appliance? Uninterrupted discounted service?
Uninterrupted discounted service.
For the life of the appliance. Uninterrupted, huh? I like that.
No interruptions. The kind of service that makes Dad say,
wow.
When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Hey Illini fans, it's Luke Altmaier here, starting quarterback for your Fighting Illini football team.
Get to him, he's going to run right, he's in, touchdown! Touchdown, Illinois! Luke Altmaier, what a throw by Altmaier.
Altmaier's big time. We invite you to be a part of the action this year at Memorial Stadium. After a 10-win season and a Citrus Bowl victory, get your season tickets now for 2025 and make this season unforgettable.
You've set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy. Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Hey, where are you headed?
To Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola.
What do they have there?
What don't they have there? Living room furniture, benches, chests, love seats, sectionals, tables, bedroom sets, hutches, nightstands, end tables, cabinets, mirrors, stools, clocks, lamps, pillows, rugs, desks, media consoles, patio furniture, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and more.
So, everything.
Yeah, probably could have just said that.
Kelsey Furniture, quality for less. When the storm rolls in, where will you go? Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your family with a custom storm shelter from Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services. At Berg Tanks, their shelters are fiberglass and plate steel safe rooms that can be installed in your garage or exterior, in ground, or on a concrete pad. Built to withstand the toughest storms, giving you a safe, secure place when you need it most. Whether you need a compact unit for a small space or a larger shelter for the whole family, they've got you covered. Their expert team handles everything from excavation to installation so you can have peace of mind before the next storm strikes. Berg Septic also specializes in septic pumping, new system installation, grease trap cleanings, repairs, and maintenance plans to keep your home running smoothly. Call Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services today at 217-367-8632 or visit them online at bergtanksinc.com. That's BERG tanksinc.com. Your lawn is an important investment. Let Spring Green take care of that lawn. Your local, family-owned and operated Spring Green has been committed to beautifying your neighborhood through quality, service, and professionalism. Spring Green's full program customers are backed by their guarantee of satisfaction. Smart Money Magazine reports that consumers value a home with a well-maintained lawn and landscape up to 11.3% higher than the base price. Why don't you call Spring Green today, 359-2111, or visit them at spring-green.com.
Oh man,
this was terrible.
Some of the stories off air.
Sometimes that's where the
I
best
feel
stuff
bad
happens.
for the listeners sometimes because they don't get to hear some of the best parts.
100% agree.
You know,
Oh,
I don't.
man,
You
that
never knew that. That was one story about me you never
It's
heard.
a good one.
Yeah.
That I'm pulling up now to see what's at the Canopy Club tonight.
We've been talking about it a lot, and there's probably nothing there.
There's probably no, which would be perfect for me tonight.
Closed for maintenance. Maybe there was something like lawns coming.
It's absolutely blank.
Maybe you just need to go there and take over the jukebox then.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Open mic. It sounds like
Open mic night.
Ooh.
Now that could be something you would host.
It does still say that they have the Piano Man.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
There you go.
Is that Monday nights?
They also have Reefer Madness.
Wonder what that is.
Is that like
at the Canopy Club?
Is that like a job referral
yeah, you
thing they do?
refer things
you
to
refer,
people.
You refer. Is that? Are
Yeah,
you sure
I
you
think
said that right?
offering-
I think it's
yeah.
refer.
I'd
Not
like to refer you.
Never thought of that.
Yeah.
I did one time go to an open mic night, and I think I was like watching comedy specials. I'm like, oh, maybe it's gonna be just you run into some sketch comedy. Nope.
Not at open mic night. Back in the day, they used to do $2 Long Islands on open mic night.
wow.
So I would go there. Yeah, dangerous stuff back in the day. I used to go there for the $2 Long Islands on open mic night.
That
And,
would be.
Sometimes there would be somebody who would surprise you. This name may not mean anything to you. There's a guy named Sufjan Stevens, and Sufjan went to the U of I, and he ended up becoming like a big deal in indie music. But the first time I ever saw him was at an open mic night at the Canopy Club in like 03 or 04 or something like
Interesting.
that. Yeah.
I'd be like, can you cue up some Colin Baton Rouge, Garth Brooks?
Yeah.
I'm taking the mic. So, Piano Man is every Monday. Yeah. So, what is today? Tuesday. That's the story of my flippin' life.
Poor Uncle Lon.
You should have been here last night, Lon. This place was hopping. Oh, was it?
Piano Man. Yeah.
That's great. I got 3 people.
Still a thing. It was a thing way back when.
Mm-hmm.
Do they just play Piano Man the entire
I've never
time?
been. I just know
Oh.
it was a big thing with the girls. A lot of the girls like to go.
Of course, dueling pianos. Have you ever been to a dueling piano place?
Oh, Howlin' Wolf in the Indies.
Yes.
A blast,
Well, they
buddy.
had one down at Laclede's Landing, speaking of that.
Yeah.
That we brought up in the first hour that I couldn't think of. Those are awesome.
Yeah. I have been to some of those. Those are fun.
I mean, there are times when I've been down for an Illinois, Missouri, either bragging rights or football game. We would end up at the Howl at the Moon, and I got a funny Howl at the Moon story real quick.
I love it when he does this.
But we would
on the mic or off.
They would play one guy. One guy would play the Fighting Illini fight song, and the other guy would play Mizzou.
Sweet.
And I mean, I remember one time a buddy of mine, we each put like $100 in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we won. Illinois won. And we're like, yeah, we won. And then we're sitting there looking at each other like, we just spent $200 on that. What are we doing?
Yeah, we won.
So I've got a buddy whose name will go, we will not say his name on the air. We
Okay.
were down in San Antonio at a Howl at the Moon. We walk in, and there is a girl at the entrance. She's got a very smallish Howl at the Moon shirt on. And she's like,
Interesting.
it's $10 to get in or whatever. And my buddy goes, well, I'll give you $30 if I can have that shirt right now. And she goes, would you really? And he goes, yeah, I'll give you $30 right now. So he takes $30 out and wants the shirt she has on. She goes, I'll do that. So I'm sitting there going, oh. She takes this shirt off and she has another Howl at the Moon shirt on
Get out of
underneath
no
it.
way.
I swear to God.
Wow.
My buddy was like, well, that sucks.
Did you have to Man.
Got him.
That's tough.
That's rough.
He looks at her and goes, how many times has that happened? She's like, oh, hon, more than you think. It was hilarious.
Oh,
Goodness gracious.
Jeez.
I'll give you the name of the guy in the next hour.
Did you have to refer him to a therapist?
Oh, and she was all about it. She goes, yeah, I'll do that. And I was like, whoa, what is about to happen here? I mean, I was there for the, I wasn't running away.
What's about to happen?
And boom, she's got another one, just a shirt just like it. It was a little, I'm like, that's crazy.
Every day she's hustling.
Yeah.
That was skill right there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he ever did with that shirt.
It's a good plot twist, though. It's a good plot twist story.
Probably just threw it away,
We need a podcast.
Yeah.
Of just.
Yeah.
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 We'll just title it Lante Stories. Oh, boy. Just burn the house down.
That could be a thing. Some sort, I don't know, something happy hour with Uncle Lon or something like that.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd want Uncle. I don't want anything associated with any family. That would be.
This is not a family show.
He's no uncle of mine.
Yeah, right. Real quick before we get out of
Yes.
here, because we're about to.
Oh, yeah, you gotta answer Wade.
Mitch says for Luke, Illinois jersey, candy stripe pants. Now, I like that idea.